Perek Aleph, Mishnah Zayin. Continuing from the previous Mishnah, Hashoikel al yedei oni, someone who is paying on behalf of an oni, al yedei shcheno v'al yedei ben iroi, he's paying on the behalf of his neighbor, someone else he knows locally. Says the Mishnah, potter. He is potter if he himself is joined up with, let's say, an oni, a poor person who perhaps otherwise couldn't have afforded to pay. And he is joined up and is giving them a matana on top of his own half a shekel. He is giving a full shekel, but under that circumstance he does not have to pay the premium, the kolbon that was mentioned in the previous Mishnah, because he is giving it as a matana on behalf of the other individual. However, v'im hilvom chayev, if he lent them the money and was expecting the half shekel to be returned to them, then chayev, as we learnt in the previous Mishnah, he would be receiving back a chatzi shekel, and he has paid 1 shekel. As we explained in the previous Mishnah, if one uses a full shekel instead of 2 half shekelim, there is the premium to be paid, and this would be paid in this instance too, because he was going to continue the Mishnah, ha'achim v'hashutfin shechayovim b'kolbon peturim mimaisa behema. Explains the Bartanura. Brothers who received an inheritance, and they've divided up the inheritance, and then they join together as partners. They are achin and now have become shutfin. If one pays on behalf of himself and the brother, 2 pays the half a shekel each, a full shekel, expecting to be reimbursed from the brother, chayovin b'kolbon, they will be mechuyev to pay this premium mentioned in the previous Mishnah. However, Maisa Behema, the mitzvah of Maisa Behema, which is the animals, kosher animals, which are born throughout one particular year, 1/10 of those animals are taken to Yerushalayim, offered up, parts of the animal offered up, and the rest of the animal eaten by the owner. That's the mitzvah of Maisa Behema. Learns the Gemara in Bechoros. This only applies if there was a sole owner of that particular animal. If the animals are owned jointly, shutfus, then the mitzvah of Maisa Behema does not apply. So, if these brothers have divided up the inheritance and then joined as shutfin, they will be potter from Maisa Behema. Continues the Mishnah. However, if they have received the inheritance, haven't yet divided it up, in such a case, it's equivalent to the father still having ownership over the animals and over the property and over the money, and therefore, from this property, chayovin b'maisa behema, it will still be chayiv in maisa behema. And when it is chayiv in maisa behema, showing that in fact it's now still under one ownership rather than the shutfis of the 2 brothers, peturim min kolbon, when 1 shekel is given on behalf of those 2 individuals, no kolbon will be necessary. Explains the Bartanura, Vahavi ka'ov, it'll be like the father paying on behalf of the sons, or the shchenim, as we learnt in this Mishnah. In such a case, that would be potter. He is paying on their behalf as a matana, and therefore potter from this extra premium, the kolboin. Concludes the Mishnah. V'kamahu kolboin. How much is this, the value of this premium on top of the chatzi shekel? Says the Mishnah, more kesef divrei Rabbi Meir. The value of the kolboin is a more. How much is a more? Comes up quite often in the Mishnahs. Explains about Tanura. This is echod me'esrim va'arbo besela. This is 1/24 of a selah. And we said a selah is the same as the Torah's word shekel. So more kesef, 1/24 of a selah. Divrei Rabbi Meir v'chachomim oimrim chatzi. The chachomim say it's half this value, which means it will be 1/48 of a selah.